Descending aorta. I hope now you know that descending aorta is divided into two parts. Which one?
Thoracic and abdominal.
Thoracic aorta and abdominal aorta. What is the borderline between them?
Diaphragm.
Diaphragm is borderline. Thoracic aorta gives off branches, and these branches are divided into two groups according to organs which they supply. If organs supplies, if arteries supply the walls of the thoracic cavity, these branches are called parietal, which supplies wall. What are the walls of the thoracic cavity? Diaphragm, which is inferior wall, then intercostal spaces and intercostal muscles. That's why arteries which belong to this group will supply the diaphragm and intercostal muscles. And another branches which supply organs which lie in the thoracic cavity, like for example thymus or pleura, pericardium and esophagus. These branches are called visceral. So you know this, understand. Next, abdominal aorta also gives branches which are divided into two groups. Groups have same name, parietal and visceral. But visceral internal organs of abdominal cavity are more in number comparing with the thoracic cavity, and they can be divided into two parts. Paired organs like kidney, suprarenal glands, testes, ovaries, and unpaired like stomach, intestine and others. That's why visceral branches of abdominal aorta also are divided into two parts. Paired and unpaired. And of course, the most attention you have to put to these unpaired visceral branches because they are more in number. Almost all organs of abdominal cavity belong to this group, unpaired. No, and now to understand these unpaired branches, there are only 3 branches of them, only 3, 1, 2, and 3. And now I will try to describe these arteries. So first of all, I draw aorta, abdominal aorta, that's why borderline is the diaphragm. Here is thoracic aorta. The biggest branches of abdominal aorta belong to this visceral paired group, and they go to the kidney. So these arteries are called arteria renalis. Arteria renalis, which goes to the kidney, like that. Do you understand why this artery is the biggest? Because kidney carries out very important function, filtration of the blood and from urine to excrete toxins and other products. Well, then artery is aorta continues downward, and approximately at the level of L4, it is bifurcates into 2 terminal branches, which are called arteria iliaca communis, which very soon is divided into 2, arteria iliaca interna and arteria iliaca externa. Arteria iliaca externa goes downward and continues into arteria femoralis, borderline between which is ligamentum inguinale. Well, but our topic is only abdominal aorta. I said there are 3 unpaired visceral branches. What are they? First branch begins just under the diaphragm. Very short trunk, and this trunk is called truncus celiacus, celiac trunk. Celiac trunk. It is first. Second begins just above origination of arteria renalis, here, and also looks to the right side. And this artery is called arteria mesenterica superior, superior mesenteric artery. And last artery starts from aorta just above bifurcation level, here, and also goes to the left side. Goes to the left side, and this artery is called arteria mesenterica inferior. Inferior mesenteric artery. So there are 3 unpaired visceral branches. Did you understand this? Well, now to understand ramification of all these arteries, now I should draw organs, internal organs. Here is esophagus, which then continues into the stomach. On this side is liver with gallbladder. Well, here is ileum, like part of the small intestine. Ileum opens into cecum. Cecum goes upward like ascending colon. Ascending colon continues like transverse colon. Transverse colon continues into descending colon. Descending, what is next? Sigmoid colon. No, and finally is rectum. Well, on this side is spleen. No, and pancreas is behind the spleen, behind the stomach, under this. Well, first, arteria truncus celiacus. First is truncus celiacus. Truncus celiacus gives 1, 2, 3 branches. First branch goes to the lesser curvature of the stomach, like that, and logically it is called arteria gastrica. It goes from the left side to the stomach. It is called arteria gastrica sinistra. Arteria gastrica sinistra is here. Passing very close to the esophagus, logically it gives branch to the abdominal part of esophagus only, not thoracic part, because here is thoracic aorta, but only to the abdominal part. And this artery is called arteria or ramus esophagealis. So this first branch of truncus celiacus, not so difficult, right? The next branch, which is the biggest branch of the celiac trunk, also goes to the left side, and it passes behind the stomach and goes up to the spleen. Logically, this artery is called arteria lienalis. Arteria lienalis, which is the biggest lienalis artery. Arteria lienalis goes to the spleen, but do remember which organ also goes to the spleen, up to the hilum of the spleen? Pancreas. And passing along the upper edge of the pancreas, this artery gives branches like that, which supply body and tail of the pancreas. These branches are called rami pancreatice.